It is almost Christmas, so today I want to show you how I created this amazing Christmas-themed photo manipulation in Affinity Photo, in which we're gonna turn planet Earth into a Christmas bulb. Now, for this image, I just downloaded two images. Actually, one is a 3D asset from Envato Elements, which is this one. We're only going to use the top part, obviously. And the second one is this night picture of planet Earth, let's say. Now, let's first import our Christmas bulb, let's say. So I'm going to press Command C, go over to our empty document and press Command V. And if you're wondering, this document is 2000 pixels width and 2500 pixels height. Now let's increase the size a little bit, and all I'm gonna need is actually this part right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my pen tool and I'm just gonna make a very quick selection, let's say, of this part that I'm gonna use. So I'm just gonna use the top part, let's say, and let's close it. Now let's hit mask, and there we have left all we need. So I'm gonna select it, I'm gonna press V on the keyboard, and I'm just gonna position it somewhere at the top of our screen. So something like this. There we go. Now let's go to our second image, and that is this one, and I'm gonna use the elliptical marquee tool to make a selection of our planet Earth because we are dealing with a round object. So I'm gonna click in the middle, and I have selected from center, so I'm gonna click somewhere in the middle and just click and drag out. I'm gonna hold shift, and when I hold spacebar I can move my selection around a little bit to make a nice selection. Now if I want to move my selection around, I can press Q, I can press V on the keyboard, and now I can actually reshape my selection however necessary. So let's do that fairly quickly. So something like this. Let's press Q again, and let's hit the mask icon. Press Command D to deselect, and there we go. Now I'm gonna copy this one over, so I'm gonna press Command C, go right here and press Command V. And now I'm gonna use my move tool to make it a whole lot smaller, and yeah, position it somewhere around here. Now I want it to be below my Christmas bulb thingy, so I'm just gonna drag it below, and let's actually rename these layers. So I'm gonna rename this one, let's say bulb, I'm not really sure. And a little trick here, if you are renaming layers and you want to rename multiple layers, while renaming the first layer, you can just press tab, and now you can rename the second one. So let's call this one Earth. And that's it. Now let's actually create a background because we don't really have it yet, and I would like to have some nice starry night sky, let's say. So I'm gonna go to layer, and I'm gonna click new fill layer, and I'm just gonna create a black fill layer, and I'm gonna drag it to the bottom. And what I want to do now is create a new pixel layer, and I can actually go to my brushes, the IAMRENSI night brushes, and I've got this very cool star painter brush right here. So if I press B on the keyboard and make sure I have white as a foreground color selected, I can just paint over the sky however long I want, and you can see that we actually create some nice stars, which is a very cool thing. I really enjoy and really like this brush. It is available in the Ultimate Brush Bundle, so if you're interested, yeah, just check out the link down below in the video description. There's 176 other brushes as well, so just check it out. Now if I want my stars to be a little bit brighter, I'm just gonna duplicate it, so I'm gonna press Command J, and now you can see that we've got very nice and bright stars. Now to merge these two together, I can right click and just click merge down, or use the keyboard shortcut Command E. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna press Command E, and I'm just gonna rename this one stars. All right, pretty cool. Now let's brighten up our planet Earth a little bit because it is still pretty dark. So I'm gonna go back to my planet Earth, and I'm gonna create a shadow and highlight layer, and I just want to brighten up the shadows a little, the highlights a little bit. So we actually get this nice, yeah, brighter highlights, and maybe we can brighten up the shadows also a little bit, but I don't want to overdo it because it's gonna blow up or blow out, let's say, the other colors. So let's go just a little subtle, maybe 43% or so, before and after. So let's clip this to our planet Earth. All right, now to brighten up the complete Earth, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a new pixel layer, and I want this to be clipped to my Earth layer. And I'm gonna press B on the keyboard to select my brush tool, go back to my basic brushes and to go to a very a round, soft round brush, increase it a whole lot, so quite big, something like this. I want the highlight to be on the left side, so I'm gonna keep it a little bit on the left side, let's say. I'm gonna increase the hardness, and there's a keyboard shortcut for this as well, so I'm gonna hold shift and use my right bracket key to do so. And let's see, maybe like so, click once, and now I want to set this blend mode to overlay. And you can see we've got a very nice, actually brighter area of our planet Earth, let's say. So I want it to be focused a little bit to the top left or to the left side, let's say. I can increase it however I like, so if I want it to be a little more increased, that's also possible, but I think this looks good. So this is the before and this is the after. Now then I want to tweak the colors of my planet Earth a little bit, so I'm gonna select my shadows layer or any adjustment layer that is clipped to planet Earth, and I'm gonna press Command U to create a HSL adjustment layer, and I'm gonna go to my overall colors, let's say, and I'm just gonna tweak it a little bit, and I'm just gonna move it slightly to the right and maybe increase the colors just a little bit. Something like this looks pretty nice. Now, of course, if I zoom in right now, you can see that our planet Earth stops right here. And that is something we don't want. We want it to be inside of our Christmas bulb thingy. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select planet Earth, and I'm gonna go into my live filters, and I'm gonna go to liquify. And what I want to do now is just make my brush a whole lot smaller, and I'm just gonna, let's say, drag this part of my planet Earth inside of this Christmas bulb. All right, let's hit done, and that looks pretty good. So this was the before and this is the after, and well, I messed up the planet a little bit, but this is kind of okay. I think this looks pretty neat. All right, now in the original image I had this nice light going on, which is something I really liked. So let's create it as well. And this is actually a brush too. So I'm gonna create a new pixel layer, and I'm gonna go back to my night brushes, and I'm gonna go down, and there we've got this eclipse brush, which is super cool. So I'm gonna press B on the keyboard, and there we go. I'm gonna increase my brush size quite a bit, and I want to stamp it inside of my screen. So somewhere around here, let's stamp it. And now I'm gonna use my move tool. So I'm gonna press V on the keyboard and flip it horizontally. And then I'm gonna increase the size, and I'm gonna try to shape it similar to my planet, let's say. This looks pretty good. At the top here, it doesn't really match. So what I can do is I can use a mesh warp filter. So let's do that. And let's zoom out a little bit, and let's actually use this filter to match the shape of my planet. That looks pretty cool. So let's hit done, and let's zoom out. Now in the original image I made this thing glow blue, let's say, so let's do that as well. So I'm gonna select this layer, and let's actually call this one Eclipse. And let's go to our layer effects, and let's go to an outer shadow, outer glow. And we want to set the outer glow to some nice blue color. Something like this. Let's increase the radius a little bit. And this actually looks like a very nice color. We can play with the radius a little bit if you want. Something like this looks pretty good. And I think it is too bright on the right side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create a layer mask. I'm gonna press G on the keyboard to select the gradient, and I'm gonna drag from the left to the right, and I'm just gonna reduce the glow, let's say, a little bit, something like this. Now what we see is that the light, let's say, so my eclipse light is actually overlaying my what I've just done, let's say my Earth. So the Earth that I dragged in right here, it is actually overlaying it, as you can see. So inside of this mask I'm gonna press B on the keyboard to select my brush tool, go back to the basic brushes, and select a soft round brush. Make sure my foreground color is set to black, and I want to mask out the light from inside right here. Just like so. All right, now another thing is that on the right side right here, you can see that we've got some red tones, and these red tones, honestly, I don't really like them because we've got this nice blue lights, let's say. So I'm gonna go to my earth layer, and I want to change this tone. So I'm gonna create a new HSL layer. So I'm gonna press Command U on the keyboard, and I'm gonna zoom in. I want to focus on this red color, so I'm gonna go to my reds, and I'm gonna change the color of this red to, let's say, something blue, something like this. Maybe increase the saturation a little bit, even something like this. But what you see right now is that this also impacts the left side of my planet Earth, which is something I don't really want, because here I want to keep the red tones, but on the right side I want to remove them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna press Command I to invert the layer mask of my HSL layer. I'm gonna press B on the keyboard and select my soft round brush. And now once I brush over with white, you can see that I can brush back the effect right where I want it. So everywhere where there's a little bit of red, yeah, I can just brush it out right now. All right, I still think my planet Earth is pretty dark actually. So maybe I can duplicate this layer once again and just reduce the opacity quite a bit. Something like this. Maybe I can position it a little differently as well. Like so. Just to brighten up the planet Earth a little bit. And I want to mess around with the colors a little bit, because I really like these the lights. So I want to make the highlights more orangey. So let's actually create a color balance adjustment layer, and let's go target the highlights, and we want to make them more reddish, so something like this, and a little more yellow, so we get this nice orangey light, let's say. This looks pretty neat to me. All right, now we've got some work to do at the top right here, because when I zoom in, I actually messed up the mask here a little bit. So let's fix that right now. There we go. I want to add some shadows to my Christmas bulb thingy. And as you can see from the original image, there was this red and blue colors, let's say. And you can still see the reflection inside right here, which is something I don't really want. So there's a couple of things to tweak. So let's go into our earth layer, and let's first make this a whole lot darker actually. So I'm gonna let's create an exposure adjustment layer to create some shadows and just decrease the exposure a whole lot of this planet Earth. So something like this. And I'm gonna press Command I to invert my layer mask, and then press B on the keyboard to select my brush tool. And now I'm gonna use my brush tool to brush back the effect. Now let's also draw some nice shadows here, because yeah, obviously we need some contact shadows for our Christmas bulb thingy. So there we go. Maybe I can reduce the effect a little bit because it's pretty dark now. Something like this. Let's see the before and the after. Looks very, very nice to me. Now let's fix these colors a little bit, because we're not gonna need these, of course. So I'm gonna go back to my Christmas bulb thingy, and I'm gonna create a pixel layer, and I want to clip this one to my bulb. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna pick any, yeah, let's say dark blue tone from our planet Earth, maybe here. Some nice dark shadow, and I'm just gonna brush over the bottom parts of these of this Christmas bulb thing to give some nice blue tones to it. There we go. And now I can change the blend mode, because now it is pretty dark. So let's actually change the blend mode to, let's go for hard light. Nice. Now I want to fix this thing a little bit at the top right here, because I think it's too bright, let's say. So I want to give it more contrast. So I'm going to press Command L on the keyboard, and I'm going to increase the black levels and the white levels as well, so we get more contrast to it. And what I also want to do is I want to add some nice lens flare right here, because I just think it looks, yeah, nice, let's say kind of cinematic-y or something. So I'm gonna create a new pixel layer, and I'm gonna go back to my brushes, and now I'm gonna go to my light brushes, and let's actually see, let's grab either one of these light brushes, and obviously we want to pick a white color. I'm not sure about that one. This one looks nice. It just gives this nice little extra touch. And what I want to do is I want to copy this, the blue glow, let's say, and I want to copy this one to my lens flare. So I'm just going to click and drag this to my lens flare, and now you can see that my lens flare is also blue. I think it's too strong, so I'm going to reduce the intensity for this one quite a bit, maybe increase the radius, and yeah, that looks pretty nice. All right, now let's fix this rope a little bit, because that's just the final touch. Now, before I show you the end results, if you're interested in the brushes that I've used, you can check out the link down below to get the ultimate brush bundle. It is 176 hyper-realistic brushes, including tutorials and installation guides, so you can get the most out of this bundle. Now, let me show you the end results in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much for watching, and I wish you a Merry Christmas. See you in the next one.